Hello, hello. This is Chamonix from the Happy Film Company, and this is literally all I brought with me on my family photo shoot this morning. A 100mm macro lens. Can you see that? 100mm macro lens, Canon. My Canon 5D Mark IV. The lens is a 50mm 1.2. And a wallet full of cards. Inside of this camera, there's a charged battery and an empty card. That's it. So, I didn't even have a camera bag. I just have a pocket in my jacket. And the pocket holds the wallet on the one hand, and then in the other hand, it holds lenses because there's only the two, so I'm rotating between the two. These two lenses that I choose to shoot with, normally I have a 35, today I have a 50, but the point is that there's either a 35 or a 50 or a 40, something in that range. It's a portrait range, but it's still wide enough to get wide shots. If you go above 50, you're starting to get more focused and pointed, which is the purpose of this 100mm. Now instead of this one, you could have a 85. You could have a 135, you could have a 70 to 200, you can have any long zoom lens or long macro lens, it doesn't matter. The idea is this is how far you're seeing. So for this one, it's wider, and for this one, it's narrower. This one is like, let's look at the beautiful scenery, let's take everything in, let's get a picture of everybody. This one is, let's focus in on just that one person. Let's take a photo of that thing that's really far away. I would use this one, the 50, the 30, the 40, something that's below the number 50 or below, for moving shots and videos. It's where the eyes are wide open and you're like, just take it all in. Capture all the emotion, capture everything that's happening right now. And then the longer barrel lens, the 85 and the 100 and the above the 100s and the zooms are for the, let's focus in on the detail. Let's get really close and show something special happening. Let's get everything else to blur out apart from the one thing that we're focusing on. So these two are a great combination when you do family portraits. If you're shooting weddings or architecture or fashion or product, there's different sets of lenses, different types of lenses that you need for those different types of photography. I've shot in lots of different genres and I've shot with lots of different lenses, and I've tried mixing and matching which lenses work with which genres. And for years now, for family photography in particular, this is the combination that I like. I can do a full family photo shoot with one or the other. Like if I only want to bring my camera and just be like, this is me at a shoot, which is so nice. It's so liberating to show up and only have one piece of equipment that you have to carry. You don't have to keep switching, you're just this. So this actually is something I recommend doing, is choosing one lens, going on a shoot and using only one lens, because it trains you in how to use that lens to its full capacity. You'll realize what you're unable to do with it, where you hit the limitations. You'll realize what it's really good at because you'll have to use it for that a lot. Or when you see the photos, you're like, wow, I got so many good ones of this type of photo. You switch a different lens on, and then you're gonna come home with a completely different collection of photos. You're gonna be like, wow, it really limited me. I was not able to get this type of photo, but I was able to get so many of this type. And so by forcing yourself to go on shoots with only one lens, and I've even shot weddings with only one lens to challenge myself to do that, you become very familiar with what each lens feels like, what it produces, what conditions you want to use it in. And you can read a lot of blog posts that'll tell you, like this lens is like the 100mm macro, it's great for portraits, it's great for product detail shots, it's great for food, it's great for jewelry, blah, blah, blah. But it's not until you actually use it and you use it again and again and you use it in the wrong situation, not that there's such a thing as a wrong situation, but that you use it in a situation where it's not ideal and you feel that it's limited and you're like, okay, that's its boundaries. But within it, this is what it's amazing at. And so then it's really nice to be able to go up to your collection of lenses one day and just be like, I need this one. I know It's not like, which one should I use? It's, this is the one I need. And that's the relationship that you have, that you'll establish as you shoot more and as you limit yourself to one lens. And then you eventually start to find pairs and groupings. So I would take this pair, I take this everywhere. I mainly photograph families and fashion, and these get me by on them perfectly. Every now and then I'll bring another lens to like play around and just have fun with it, but I usually go home and be like, well, that was fun, but I'm not like gonna change to using that because I've figured it out through experimentation. For the portraits, the family portraits, the engagement portraits, the senior portraits, the portrait world, people really love the 50. People love the 35. People love the 85. That's kind of your range. It's a little bit more uncommon to shoot with the 100, especially with children. And that's because photographing children is a fast-paced, unpredictable sport. And so if you have the wider lenses, the ones that shoot wider, they usually take quicker. They lock on to their focus quicker. So if the child's moving, you can like grab it, snap, 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 and all the photos are clear. With the 100 millimeter, it takes a moment to focus. So the kid will be doing something cute and you'll look at it, and just as you go to click, you want to take the picture, but the lens is like, and then it will finally lock on and take. So it'll be like, but by then the moment is long gone. So you balance this. When you see the kids are playing and running, maybe switch to the wider one. And then when you realize that everyone's kind of still, maybe they're all sitting down together and they're cuddling and they're talking, you could switch to this one, and that'd be a little bit lower stress. None of this is rules. I will photograph people running around with a 100, but I go into that knowing that I might have a harder time focusing. It might be a little bit more blurry. The benefit of being able to shoot with one lens, or really pare it down to your perfect set of lenses, is that you're not carrying extra weight on you during the photo shoot. Like physically, you're not carrying extra weight, which means you're gonna not sweat as much. You're not gonna be distracted by this thing pulling you down. You are gonna feel free to focus on connecting with the people in front of you, having a good time, enjoying the environment. You're just a tourist, basically. You're just walking around with your camera, and then every time you see something beautiful, you take a picture and put it back down. As soon as you start walking around with these heavy camera lenses and these camera bags full of equipment and all these things that you can do, you're gonna find yourself spending a lot of time switching lenses and trying, and you've got all these backup things, and it's a distraction. You might end up taking technically beautiful photos, but you also put yourself at risk of missing out on a lot of natural, beautiful moments, especially since when you look down to your camera bag, the family or whoever you're photographing is going to look and be like, oh, this is a moment for a break. She's not taking photos. So they're going to like do something. Like they're going to change each other's shoes or kiss each other or something that is actually really photogenic and really special. So you're missing out on some really beautiful moments. And your mind is going into a camera bag focusing on details and equipment and gear, instead of staying in the channel of like connecting with this family's vibe. And if you want them to do something organic, all you have to do is put your camera down, but you don't have to turn it off. So like they can tell you're not taking photos. Same effect. And then the minute they do something natural, you quickly pick it up and shoot. Yep. So that's all I brought today. I also have my cards in here. So I have a 32 gigabyte in the camera ready to use. Hopefully that lasts me the whole shoot. And then I have a couple backups, just extra 8 gigabytes in case I need a little bit extra. I usually take about 35 to 40 gigabytes per shoot. And that shoot lasts about an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. I would say an hour-long shoot, 32 gigabytes is a safe bet, shooting both photos and videos. And I keep the memory wallet because it's a strong habit. I don't want to take the card out and put it in my pocket and be thinking, is it in my left pocket or my right pocket, or where did it go? You build habits to protect yourself, one of which is always put the card in here, always, close it up, put it in the left pocket. Done.